What should we do next, Holmes?
Let us try to create an object from silver by using the mold. It will take a minute to melt the silver with my gas burner. Done. Now I can proceed further. The mold is hot. I should wait for it to cool down. Done. Now I can proceed further. A homemade silver knife. Excellent. We have created a knife with the silver that we found. It could have been used to kill Sir Rodney.
It was extremely clever to create a weapon that could dissolve at the scene of the crime.
Mr. Holmes, we've cleared the corridor to the Frigidarium. You can visit it now.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Perhaps I could find some clues by activating the flagstone.
These baths are becoming sinister.
Neptune, the god of the sea. It is a statue of Minerva. It is a broken statue of a bull. This is a reproduction of an ancient Greek crossbow. Frigidarium. These are the city's Roman baths. What might be hidden there? The Cyclops, a one-eyed creature helping Vulcan at the forge. Vulcan, the god of fire and metalworking. Please What can you tell me about Mithras?
Oh, so much. It was the core of our work. Why do you ask?
Were you seeking the golden knife?
I see you are an amateur. Yes, the golden knife was our grail. It is said that it bears the only text explaining the ritual of the cult of Mithras.
I understand. I read something about immortality.
A myth. The knife would provide immortality only to the worthy one, and yet it is cursed, and it would kill you if you are not initiated.
Did you expect to find the golden knife at the baths?
Well, Sir Rodney thought that it might be there. Did you observe the knife representations there? They are so extraordinary, and we had hoped... It is a tragedy that he has passed away, taking all of his secrets with him. As soon as I've been released, I will continue Sir Rodney's researches in his memory.
Please. Perhaps you could explain the cult of Mithras to me.
No, there is nothing to say. We are not the worthy ones.
But Sir Rodney believed that he was.
He was wrong. I have visions. The golden knife, the mummy. Oh, it's all my fault.
Calm down, Mr. Garrow. Please. The paintings in the baths are focused on Mithras, I understand.
Yes, they are what make this place remarkable.
And that is why Sir Rodney came here?
He believed that the golden knife, which is an ancient ritual item, was hidden somewhere around the baths. I admit that it would be wonderful if it were true.
And you are not concerned by the reputation of this artifact?
You mean the curse? Before someone is dead, it is a blessing. After they are dead, well, then it becomes a curse. Ha!
A fountain. Sir Greg. An embroidered...
Mr. Holmes?
Unopened. Champagne. An ice. One lens. One lens. These lenses. The grid can
All these events are bad.
a glass. It is a glass. A symbol. A hidden sign. A hidden symbol. Now I have all the clues to help me find where these symbols are leading. All I need is... The signs are pointing to this bust.
What is this place?
I am unsure, Watson, but everything points to the fact that it was the last place visited by Sir Rodney Bentcliffe. We are approaching the end of this mystery. A broken glass plate. What is it doing here? I should examine it at Baker Street. How very peculiar. An ice maker.
Why would Sir Rodney have brought such a device here?
A sack of crude salt. Mithras, the god, clothed in Anatolian costume and wearing a Phrygian cap, killing the bull. This fresco resembles either a ladder or a hierarchy. This fresco resembles mummified bodies. We're in some type of catacomb. The fire casts a shadow upon the floor. That is the symbol of Neptune.
Judging by the broken orbit, this poor fellow met a death similar to Sir Rodney's.
This shoe is not from the Roman era. It is medieval at best. This man was a tomb raider who met with an unfortunate end.
By the eye he was punished, for he saw that he was not worthy. Dreadful.
The pillar collapsed a long time ago. It is very similar to the face of Mithras. This shadow seems to represent a bridge. It resembles a bull. The shadows show us the way to... A shovel, not from the Roman era. Mummified bodies. We're in some type of mummified body. We cannot go any further. Mummified.
We don't have many leads here.
Done. Watson, could you please use this negative and your photographic equipment to process the photograph? Thank you, Watson. Now I must use reagents to develop the photograph. Ice, ice, salt, ice cream. Another archaeologist. Ice cream in the desert. The pyramids of Giza. Ice cream. Sir Rodney.
So that's it. Salt and crushed ice may help to create ice cream.
If I wish to shape, if I wish to shape the ice, if I wish to shape the ice knife, ice, salt, and then the mixing. It should be elementary. We need to reach minus 20 degrees Celsius to fully freeze the water inside the mold. Before beginning, I must remember that I have enough ice and salt for no more than 4 attempts. A block of
Holmes, look. The temperature is reducing.
a block of ice. Ice, salt, and then the mixing. Ice, it's empty. Ice. We cannot be making it correctly. Let us try again. If I wish to shape the ice knife, then I need to pour ice, salt, and then the mixing. It should be elementary. We need to reach minus 20 degrees Celsius to fully freeze the water inside the mold. Before beginning, I must remember that I have enough ice and salt for no more than 4 attempts. Ice, salt.
Holmes, look. The temperature...
A block. Ice before.
Holmes, look. The temperature...
Ice, so. Ice before. Ice.
Holmes, look. The temperature is...
Excellent. Now we must check to ensure that it is adequately frozen. An ice weapon for a cold-blooded murder. An ice knife. A surprising and yet a very brilliant idea.
It's the perfect weapon. It enables one to kill a man and then it melts. The only trace it leaves is a small puddle on the ground.
This railway it is a broken statue of a bull. This is a The gastrofets were used with ropes and hooks for sieges. This we should use these metal wings to help us reach the bridge pillar. There might be something behind. I have to find a way of getting. I should use the appropriate. I should. I should. Watson, come here. I have found something.
Are we inside the hidden temple of Mithras, Holmes?
I am not sure. We had better be careful.
Which way should we go, Holmes?
There ought to be some clues here. Let's take... I saw this symbol in the tunnel.
Which way should we go, Holmes? Look, it's the golden knife. But how to get it?
Watson, I need your help.
I cannot leave Holmes trapped here alone. This mechanism seems inactive. This lamp is not old.
No, I do not think so. The golden knife of Mithras. A long-lost relic has resurfaced. Watson, it is time to conclude this case. Excellent. Now, we should find another way of getting out of here.
Are we inside the...
I'm trying to rest.
I'm not...
Do you...
Good day to you, Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Garrow, allow me to introduce you to Dr. Watson.
Mr. Garrow, please do not be alarmed. We only wish to help you. You were under an intolerable stress, but it's over now.
What?
I can attest that your medication affected your judgment. You will not recall, but it caused you to temporarily lose control.
Did I? Are you saying I killed Sir Rodney?
I am afraid so. For as my doctor will persist in reminding me every single day, drugs can be harmful. You developed a malevolent obsession with Sir Rodney. You believed him to be unworthy, sacrilegious.
Oh,
Do not distress yourself. Prison is clearly not a suitable environment for you.
what is my environment then?
You're suffering from an acute form of melancholia, but you can and will be cured. All you need is rest and detoxification. I will take care of every detail.
Mr. Holmes, what happened?
This.
Is that the golden knife? How?
I also like to dig, you see, Mr. Blinkhorn. One never knows what one might find. Occasionally, remarkable rarities, such as this. The thrill of the discovery, and one's own enhanced reputation. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, are you suggesting that...
I am not suggesting anything. I know. You found the knife. You are an intelligent man. The ghost knife shall remain one of the most ingenious constructions I have seen in my career, I do assure you.
I don't understand.
Yes, you do. I am praising your performance, your perfect murder.
What? Wait, are you accusing me of murder? No, I deny it.
Mr. Blinkhorn, it is no use to deny it. I know the truth. You had no choice, because it was you who found the golden knife, and therefore you had to be the murderer. Sir Rodney was determined to receive all the credit for the find, when in fact it was your work. He would have crushed you to be sure that you could never tell the truth. But I uphold the truth, and I will tell it.
What do you mean? that you will save me?
What I mean is that you deserve a second chance. I shall be following your career with the keenest interest, Mr. Blinkhorn. Farewell. Mr. Garrow, allow me to introduce you to Dr. Watson.
What?
I can...
Did I? Are you saying I killed Sir Rodney?
You developed a malevolent obsession with Sir Rodney. You believed him to be unworthy, sacrilegious.
Oh, what?
No, the game is afoot, not a word. Into your clothes and come. I'll wait for you in the sitting room. I've just received a note from Inspector Lestrade, a letter from the suburbs. He is in need of my presence. Whenever he has asked for my assistance, it has always turned out to be entirely justified. I fancy that every one of his cases has found its way into your collection.
Yes, they all seem worthy of...
However, I regret your fatal habit of looking at everything from the point of view of a story instead of a scientific exercise.
Oh, Holmes, you...
I beg your pardon, I digress. It would be much better to examine this letter than to try to convince you.
The letter is on the...
I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable to Mrs. Hudson's cold cuts.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
This is where I keep my post.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
I can tell from Lestrade's handwriting that he was in a hurry when he wrote this letter. A wax... The Brackenstall family...
So, what is it, Holmes?
Promising, as always, it appears to be a case of murder.
So you believe that Sir Eustace is dead?
I should say so. Lestrade wouldn't have sent for me for less. His writing shows considerable agitation, and he is not an emotional man. These people belong to high society. The quality of the writing paper, the EB monogram, their coat of arms. The crime was committed before midnight.
Holmes, how can you possibly tell?
Well, it is all thanks to Lestrade. He wrote his letter at 3:30 in the morning. Imagine the chain of events before that. The local police had to be called in. Scotland Yard was notified. Lestrade himself had to make haste there, and finally compose the letter he sent to me. All of that makes for a fair night's work.
It makes sense. Lestrade also speaks of the woman he released.
That seems to indicate that she had been held somewhere during the crime. Much time has been wasted. Let us find a cab and go to Abbey Grange immediately. I live in hope of an interesting morning.
Ah, Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson, here you are. I'm very glad that you have come, but perhaps I should not have troubled you after all.
And why is that?
Lady Brackenstall has come to her senses, and she has given so clear an account of the affair that there is not much left for us to do. You remember that Lewisham gang of burglars?
What, the three Randalls?
Exactly. The father and two sons. It's their work. They stole a silver service, which is of great value.
Sir Eustace Brackenstall is dead, then?
Yes. His head was knocked in with his own poker.
A violent act of aggression.
Yes, the poor lady. She has had a most dreadful experience. She was assaulted and tied to a chair. But I think that you would best see her and hear her account of the facts. She's in the morning room with her maid, Teresa Wright.
Where is the body of the deceased?
In the dining room. We haven't touched anything.
All right. I'm going to examine it.
Very good, Watson. Lord Ramsay Brackenstall.
Lady Brackenstall awaits you in the morning room. Lady Bracken...
Sir Warthen. Lord Brigham Brackenstall. Lord George Brackenstall. Ladies, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting Inspector Lestrade in this investigation.
Mr. Holmes, I am the wife of Sir Eustace Brackenstall. We were married only a year ago.
I am sorry for your loss. Please accept my deepest condolences.
I suppose that it is no use my attempting to conceal that our marriage has not been a happy one. I fear that all would tell you that, even if I were to attempt to deny it.
Can you describe to me the events of yesterday evening?
Is it really necessary? I have already told Inspector Lestrade all that happened.
Yes, madam, it is.
I will tell you then. Sir Eustace retired about 10:30. I sat in this room until after 11, absorbed in a book. Before I went upstairs, I entered the dining room to fetch a candle and... oh God.
Please, go on.
As I approached the French window, I found myself face to face with an elderly, broad-shouldered man who had just stepped into the room. Close behind the first man, I saw two others. One of them struck me a savage blow with his fist and felled me unconscious to the ground.
And then?
When I came to myself, I found that they had secured me tightly to a dining room chair. It was at that instant my unfortunate husband entered the room.
He fought with the intruders?
Yes, I think he had heard them, for he was holding his stick. But they were three, and he eventually succumbed. One of them, the elder one, struck him a terrible blow with the poker. I fainted once more. When I opened my eyes, they had withdrawn. Then my brave Teresa came to my assistance.
Did these three villains steal anything?
Yes, I found that they had taken the silver from the sideboard, but you can see for yourself in the dining room.
You mentioned that your marriage was not a happy one. Was there anything specific that was troubling you?
He was not a nice man when he was drunk, and he suffered from dark moods, but nothing else.
The bruises on your hands are at least 1 week old. Your husband caused those bruises?
How do you... Yes, he did. He was very angry at the time. Out of control. Again. Sir Eustace was a drunkard. To be tied to such a man for life is worse than death.
Your ladyship? Teresa, I would like to hear your testimony.
Certainly, sir. As I sat by my bedroom window, I saw 3 men in the moonlight down by the lodge gate. But I thought nothing of it at the time. Oh, if I'd known.
And then?
I went to bed, and it was more than an hour after that I heard my mistress scream. And down I ran, to find her tied to the chair and him on the floor with his head smashed. That's all I know.
The description of the Randall gang provided by Lady Brackenstall is identical to the one in the Times article. This photograph of Lady Brackenstall and her maid Teresa was taken at a port, but which one? So the lady and her maid came from Australia a year and a half ago on this ship. These scratches are most definitely made by the picture frame. This is Sir Eustace's safe. There may be something important inside. This is Sir... Lady Brackenstall, could you open this wall safe?
No, it is my husband's safe. I do not know the combination.
We have to open it. Your ladyship? Let us... This safe can be cracked. I only have to pay attention. The dial will vibrate when it is set to the correct number. It is antique. Baron Linden. The Brackenstall family seems rather austere.